This is FYI News 13, brought to you by SSP TV and the Hazleton Standard Speaker.
For your information, there was a major press conference in the city of Hazleton today. We'll let you know how a national issue could affect our area. Good evening and thank you for joining us at FYI. I'm Ken Cara. Congressman Lou Barletta is concerned over what he calls the crisis at the border. Tens of thousands of unattended children coming into the United States. Today he addressed the problem during a special news conference, and he says that the impact could be felt right here in Hazleton. Here now is the Congressman's news conference in its entirety.
Good morning and thank you all for coming. As you all know, for the last several weeks, the news has been full of stories about tens of thousands of adults and unaccompanied minors entering this country illegally at the United States border with Mexico. As a father and grandfather, I truly cannot imagine the heartache that would come from making the decision to send a child on such a dangerous journey. This has quickly become a humanitarian crisis as the federal government scrambles to figure out what to do with the minors, most of whom have come from Central American countries. They travel through Mexico with the goal of crossing into the United States. The Obama administration has expressed surprise at the situation, despite evidence I discovered that they were preparing to deal with the influx of illegal immigrants as far back as January of this year. On January 29th, the Department of Homeland Security placed an ad soliciting escorts or chaperones for upwards of 65,000 minors. Last week, in a hearing of the House Homeland Security Committee, I had the chance to question Homeland Security Secretary Jay Johnson, and it became obvious that the administration has no good excuses or explanations for their failure to address the problem. This is what happens when you tell the whole world that you're rolling out the welcome mat for illegal immigrants. I blame the administration and anyone in Congress who openly talked about a pathway to citizenship for illegal immigrants, which in reality means amnesty for anyone who has broken our immigration laws. The migration of these children began back in 2012, when the president began his DACA program, that's D-A-C-A, which means Deferred Action for Childhood Arrivals. DACA is in reality President Obama's pledge that he will not deport minors. Today, the administration tells us that these individuals are landing on our doorstep because of increased violence in their homelands. Now, I have no doubt that there are many for whom this is true. But it is more likely that many have heeded the call that so many in Washington have made, which is enter the United States illegally, and we won't ask you to leave. There have been accounts that the news media in Honduras, Guatemala, El Salvador, among other places, are reporting that it is perfectly all right for minors to sneak into this country. They're told that once they get here, they'll be able to stay. They are seeking what are called permisos. Those are court dates that mean that they have to stay in the United States, at least temporarily, before facing deportation proceedings. From there, of course, they plan to just fade into the fabric of our neighborhoods. I have grave concerns about the risks to our national security resulting from this growing problem. I want to see with my own eyes what is going on. So later this week, this Thursday, July 3rd, I will take part in a special field hearing of the Homeland Security Committee in McAllen, Texas. Our Border Patrol agents, who are already undermanned and stretched thin, are now being tasked with changing diapers, warming formula, and babysitting children. Our borders have never been truly secure, but now that our agents are busy essentially running daycare centers, at this moment, they are more porous than ever. I'm also very concerned about the role the federal government has played in the route many minors have taken in getting to the border in the first place. It has been reported that the drug cartels are involved in arranging transportation from Central American countries. Many of them are children who have been sent for by parents who are already in this country illegally. The United States government has been complicit in what amounts to human trafficking. The drug cartels are charging as much as $7,500 per minor to transport them more than 1,000 miles to the United States border. At that point, American government officials take over and deliver the individuals to family members elsewhere in the country. That makes our government a participant in a human trafficking transaction, which could include physical and sexual abuse along the way. This is unacceptable. The president said over the weekend that he would be asking Congress to provide more than $2 billion in funding to speed up the deportation of many of these individuals who have crossed. I'm eager to hear the details of that request, but I have to be honest. I remain skeptical of the president's commitment to securing our borders and actually solving the problem. There are growing health concerns involved, as we have now heard reports of children with measles, scabies, swine flu, and other infectious diseases arriving, and tuberculosis is also a concern. In order to do a proper test for TB, doctors need 48 to 72 hours. But because of the speed with which the Border Patrol is moving the children, we truly do not know if we are transporting infected children who very likely haven't been vaccinated. This is not appropriate, not for Americans, and not for these children. And we don't even know exactly who we're dealing with. The federal government is not conducting background checks on the parents many of the children are meeting once they arrive in the country. And we don't know if a child who says he or she is 17 is, in reality, that age. This is especially a problem because we know that drug cartels, violent gangs, and human traffickers are trying to use the chaos at the border as cover for transporting their own members. Now, there's too much at risk for me to stand by idle while our borders are wide open, our national security is at risk, and the health and welfare of these children and our own citizens is at stake. And today, I bring news that this problem could be coming even closer than anyone had previously thought. It's come to my attention that a group called the United States Committee for Refugees and Immigrants has made inquiries about certain facilities and their availability to be used to house many of these minors. Now, this is a group that calls itself a refugee resettlement organization. In fact, the group has asked specifically about a facility right here in Hazleton. In fact, it's right across the street from where we are standing right now, the Minsick Hazleton Center. Now, I think it's important for people to know that this isn't some distant problem that you watch on TV from a faraway part of the country. This is a problem that affects us all, and it is a crisis that could be coming to a town near you. And this is not some random, shadowy organization. The United States Committee for Refugees and Immigrants is a well-known and has a long-standing relationship with the Department of Health and Human Services for exactly this purpose. Now, I've spoken to city officials here in Hazleton, including Mayor Joseph Yannuzzi, just to make sure that everyone is informed of the situation. This must be addressed, which is why I am making this public today. Now, we're not talking about housing unaccompanied children at some military installation in Texas. There are people looking into housing them right here in our communities and in towns just like this one, possibly all over America. So when I get to the border later this week, I'll be looking for answers to some very specific questions. I want to know what health screens are being conducted. What assurances do we have that the minors being transported to communities within the United States are not carrying contagious diseases? What background checks are being done, both on the individuals being transported and also on the people who plan to take custody of them? And where in America will they be housed? We now know that Hazleton could be on the list. I've also heard reports of locations in Berks County and also New York, but where else? Who will be paying for this? And why is this just America's problem? At a time when we know that 1 out of every 3 homeless people in America is a veteran in our military. Again, I ask, why is this only America's problem? I hope to find answers to those questions and more, and hopefully I'll be bringing back a lot of information that we don't currently have today. None of this should be a surprise to anyone, least of all the administration that set in motion the policies that have caused it. And no one in Congress who has ever talked about amnesty should be surprised either. When we won't enforce our laws, it is guaranteed that millions of people around the world will come to America while our borders are wide open.
Now, Hazleton Police Chief Frank DeAndrea made remarks following the congressman's announcement. We have posted his entire statement to our Facebook page, facebook.com/FYI News 13, and on our website, ssptv.com. And you can read more on today's news conference at standardspeaker.com and in tomorrow's edition of the paper. Plus, we'll have more throughout the week as well. Well, still ahead on FYI, we'll get you ready for this week's All-Star Little League games. And after the break, Core Fitness is making sure young women stay active this summer. Find out how next.
This is FYI News 13, brought to you by SSP TV and the Hazleton Standard Speaker.
It's Monday. That means it's time to get in shape here at Core Fitness. We're back with Christy, and today we're talking about obesity. We know that it is an epidemic, isn't it?
It is, and it's not only an epidemic for us and our age population, but right now it's an epidemic with our youth. And so we can attribute that to all the electronics and all the games that have made our youth sedentary. And so right now, the CDC estimates between 30 and 35% of youth between 9 and 17 are overweight or obese, and it's a huge problem. So what I like to tell people is to get your kids moving now, because if they don't start moving now, they're not going to want to move when they're our age.
Right, and habit starts
worse.
when they're young. So get your kids moving, get them out there, away from the electronics, and we have a perfect program coming up.
We do. We here at Core Fitness, we are offering what we're calling a beautiful girls boot camp, and it's for girls between 14 and 17, and it will be led by Nicole Samick. She is one of our instructors here. She's fantastic. She concentrates mostly on weights and horizontal core conditioning here at Core. She's going to be teaching these girls all of those things, and that's going to start on July 14th. So we're doing signups now, and it's going to be a 6-week program. She will offer classes Mondays and Wednesdays, and that will include all types of equipment. It's going to introduce them how to start lifting weights. It's going to show them how to use their core. She'll use stability balls, steps, and then every Friday they're going to do a Zumba party with myself or our other Zumba instructor, Eileen Guilford, which will be really fun as well.
It's very important, and the one thing I really do like about Core Fitness is that you emphasize on strength and getting stronger, not on being thin or skinny. There is a difference.
There is a difference. And I know from experience I'll never be a tiny girl. And believe me, I work out a lot. I'm just not built that way, but I'm not built to be huge. I'm built to be a fit person. It runs in my family. And so my children have always seen me working out, just like I did my mom. My mom had us, you know, working out to 8-track cassette tapes in the basement when I was very small. My oldest sister went off to college. She got her certification for fitness, and that just led me down this path. So I'd like just to teach girls, especially girls, to love themselves, to love their body. So we're going to have some guest speakers, some really great guest speakers that will focus on their future planning, professions.
Love it. And
makeup,
it's also
hair.
nice to come from someone else other than just mom or the female role model. Next week, no excuses about working out. I don't care if you think it's too expensive, because it's not. There are ways that you can work out on a budget and that are very cheap.
Exactly. The next 2 weeks we'll talk about working out with equipment at home. Very, very inexpensive.
All right, we'll see you next week right here in your community on FYI each Monday.
Time now for FYI News 13 weather.
The 4th of July is only a few days away, and let's hope it's a little bit better weather-wise than today. Here's FYI weather now from the National Weather Service. Tonight there is a chance of showers before 1 a.m. The low will be 66 degrees. Here's your extended forecast. On Tuesday, a chance of showers and thunderstorms. Partly sunny day. The high is 85. On Tuesday night, we do have another chance of showers and thunderstorms. The low is 71. Now for Wednesday, 50% chance of showers and thunderstorms, and it will be a very very windy day. Wind gusts as high as 20 miles per hour. The high is 85 on Wednesday night. We might see some showers again and some thunderstorms. The low 67. For Thursday, 60% chance of showers and thunderstorms. The high is 81. Thursday night will dip down to 60 degrees. For Independence Day, get ready for 76 degrees, 30% chance of showers. And then on Friday night, it will be partly cloudy with a low of 55.
Tonight's weather is brought to you by Valley High, the area's oldest ice cream and fast food restaurant. Stop on in for a cold treat including our ice cream and yogurt, or some hot food including our burgers, hot dogs, fries, and much more. That's Valley High, Route 93 in West Hazelton. Treat yourself today.
All right, here's your midday winning Pennsylvania lottery numbers. Your daily number is 231, the big 4, 1475, Quinto 83697, and Treasure Hunt 3, 13, 23, 24, and 29. Come back for the Sportscast after this break.
This is FYI News 13 Sports.
Okay, so I'm running on about 5 hours of sleep and 2 bottles of 5-hour energy. The World Cup is starting to get to me, and there's no rest for a little while at least, as we have all-star Little League tournaments going on locally, so that plus the World Cup. Well, let's all take a breath and see what's ahead this week, and we'll start with the District 18, 11, and 12-year-old tournament. Tonight, it's the winner's bracket finale. Whoever wins this one is on to the championship round this weekend, and here's how all of that will work out. Now, whoever loses that game will go to the consolation bracket final, and they will face the winner of Valley West and Jim Thorpe. That game is tomorrow. So that's how it sets up in District 18 for the 11 and 12-year-olds. 3 local teams are in action in the District 24 11 and 12-year-old tournament this week as pool play wraps up. Upper Dauphin is at Monoy City, and then Frackville, they visit Pine Grove. St. Clair, Port Carbon, and New Philadelphia, they will visit Ashland. All of those games I mentioned are on Tuesday. Shenandoah, they drop by Rotary on Wednesday. Valley West is your District 18 9 and 10-year-old North Tournament winner. In the South Division, Jim Thorpe came out of the consolation bracket and beat Franklin Township. Now there will be a decisive game between those two on Wednesday to see who will go on to a best-of-3 series against Valley West for the district championship. Now let's check on Russ Kanzler, who's gone from Valley West Little League all the way to the majors. He's now with the Lehigh Valley Iron Pigs, and here's how he did over the weekend. He went 2 for 11 with 2 RBIs, 2 walks, and 4 strikeouts. The Iron Pigs are at Scranton Wilkes-Barre tonight if you're looking for something to do. At Evergreen Raceway Park over the weekend, Brian DeFabo from Berwick won the 35-lap modified race. The next races will be held Friday, the 4th of July. And there will be street stocks, pure stocks, 4 cylinders, and an INEX Legends race, and a kids big wheel race. Now here's our tweet of the day. It comes from the Big Ten Conference. The Big Ten is welcoming the University of Maryland today. So some of the mascots and cheerleaders representing all 12 of the Big Ten schools were in our nation's capital today to welcome the Terrapins. Thanks for putting up with me. Here's the man you were waiting to see, the one and only Ron Marchetti with Trivia Treats.
It's the last day of the month. Goodbye, June. Come on in, July. Hi, everybody. This is Trivia Treats. Exactly 20 years ago, in 1994, Russians Oleg Salenko became the only player to ever score 5 goals in a World Cup soccer match while leading his nation to a 6-1 thrashing of Cameroon at Stanford Stadium in Palo Alto, California. An amazing performance. However, 3 months later, Salenko was dropped from the Russian team after a series of substandard performances. Oh, mercy. From hero to GOAT in 3 months, the Yankees could better that. They said goodbye to Godzilla after Hideki Matsui hit 2 home runs to clinch a World Series. I have another trivia question for you. Another one that I'm sure no one knows. Now think about it. What was the longest game in professional football history? Now, I know you're thinking Kansas City versus Miami or the Dallas Texans and against whoever. A long time ago. Don't even go there. In the longest game in pro football history, the Los Angeles Express defeated the Michigan Panthers 27-21 in the 3rd overtime of a United States Football League playoff game before a crowd of 7,964, which includes both rosters, at the Memorial Coliseum on June 30th, 1984, exactly 30 years ago today. Probably 1/2 of those tickets were freebies in a last-minute effort to fill the stadium but there were about 86,000 empty seats. Anyway, it was an exciting football game finish. There was no scoring during the first 2 OTs. The Express won the contest in the third overtime on a 24-yard pass from Steve Young to wide receiver Mel Gray, who broke his arm as he was being tackled in the end zone. The Express and the USFL lasted only 3 years before it folded after the 1985 season. That game was played exactly 30 years ago today. This game was played exactly 80 years ago tomorrow. The date, July 1st, 1934. The Cardinals defeated the Reds 8-6 in an 18-inning game at Crosley Field, right here in Cincinnati. Both starting pitchers went the distance. Dizzy Dean of St. Louis and Tony Freitas of Cincinnati. Of course, that was a lifetime ago, before pitch count. Pitchers usually get the hook after 100 pitches. Both Dean and Freitas threw an estimated 245 pitches each in that game. Mother of God. We are in the middle of summer. Enjoy your 4th holiday weekend. Till next time, be a good sport and stay loose.
Mondays can be rough, but you can end them on a high note. Seafood night at Bottlenecks. Choose from crab, clam, shrimp, and lobster specials, such as their little neck clams in garlic butter, only $1.95 a dozen, or handmade crab cake platter for only $8.95.
Good evening, everyone, and here's tonight's Talk of the Town report. First tonight, you're invited to a free lunch at the Community Bible Fellowship on Sunday, July 6th from noon to 2 p.m. The church is located on West Spruce Street in Hazleton. The menu will include hot dogs, macaroni salad, fruit salad, and drinks. More information, please call 570-436-2061. And finally, The Sanctuary, located at 172 North Wyoming Street in Hazleton, will be holding a free concert featuring Nick Coyle on Wednesday, July 2nd at 6 p.m. Coyle is a modern-day version of the one-man band. More information, please call 570-262-2030. That's tonight's Talk of the Town. News 13 would like to send sincere condolences to the family and friends of these recently departed. Joseph M. McGasco of Tresco. Funeral is Tuesday at 10 a.m. from the Frank J. Bonin Funeral Home. Friends may call Tuesday from 9 to 10 a.m. Helen M. Mizanko of Hazleton Heights. Funeral is Wednesday at 9:30 a.m. from the Frank J. Bonin Funeral Home. Friends may call Tuesday from 7 to 9 p.m. Mark M. Marhelko of Zion Grove. Funeral is Wednesday at 10:15 a.m. from the Harmon Funeral Home. Friends may call Tuesday from 6 to 9 p.m. And Margaret T. Buriak of Shenandoah Heights. The Lukavitz-Orovitsfeld Funeral Home is in charge of arrangements. Tonight's obituaries have been brought to you by the Smilax Floral Shop located on 15th Street in Hazleton. For delivery to all local funeral homes, call 570-454-0111. Attention pay-per-view subscribers, if you see your name right now on News 13, you'll have 13 minutes to call in and win a free movie from Service Electric Cablevision. Our winner tonight is Julie Morgan of Sugarloaf. Julie, if you're watching, give us a call right now, 570-459-9813 to win your free movie.
I didn't have to talk a lot on FYI tonight, but I still made a mistake. There are 14 teams in the Big Ten. My bad. I'll try harder tomorrow. Until then, take it easy, everyone.